What if I told you that one strategic pivot took my client from $8,000 a month in revenue to over $442,000 in just 30 days? And they did it without spending a single dollar on paid ads or creating endless content. In fact, this case study was so remarkable that it was featured at the 2024 GoHighLevel Summit, where the founder, Varun Vairavan, said it was one of the most incredible success stories he had ever seen. My name is Lorenzo Sanchez, and I am the owner of Alexo Digital. And in this video, I'm breaking down the exact authority asset system we used to scale their struggling community to $442,000 in just 30 days. So if you're a coach, consultant, or SaaS founder ready to install this exact growth system in your business, click the first link in the description to book a roadmap call with me or my team. And to prove I'm telling the truth, you can watch the video clip of the case study feature below in the first link in the description as well. Also, here are a couple of screenshots taken on the 2 Stripe accounts we used during the first 5 months of launching the community. The screenshot on the left shows the gross revenue we did from the day that we launched the community on May 12th, 2024, up until about roughly the middle of September 2024. And the screenshot on the right shows the gross revenue that we did from about the time that we opened up this second Stripe account in the middle of September 2024 until late October 2024, when we had our case study featured at the 2024 GoHighLevel Annual Summit. But let me be absolutely clear. Their success did not happen overnight. It was not met without obstacles, and their first online community actually failed. This was their second attempt at launching an online community, and just before they saw exponential growth, it seemed like their dreams of growing an online community were going to fail. They succeeded because they were relentless. They persevered through the tough times, particularly the month before they made their big break. Picture this. You wake up, check your dashboard, and see the same disappointing numbers. Your heart sinks. You've got testimonials. You know your program works, but nobody's buying. That's exactly where Latinos Creativos found themselves, just 3 months after launching their new community. The problem? They had completely exhausted their warm audience. Their organic Facebook reach had flatlined. Neither their email list nor their SMS list was responsive. And for 30 straight days leading up to their strategic pivot on August 27th, 2024, they experienced their lowest sales since they first launched. They had a great product, but no one knew to sell it to. They had hit a brick wall. And that's a feeling I know many of you watching this can relate to. So, to solve their traffic problem, they knew they needed to get in front of a brand new high-trust audience. They decided to make a strategic bet. They invested $15,000 to be featured on the Nayo Escobar podcast, a major show with a massive engaged following. Now, $15,000 might not sound like much, but for a new coaching program that was only making $8,000 in a 30-day period, this was a make it or break it moment. But here's what happened immediately after that podcast went live. They achieved something that most businesses struggle to obtain for years: top-of-funnel branding. Within hours, people weren't just hearing about them, they were actively searching for their name. You see, when someone hears a compelling story on a podcast they trust, the first thing they do is Google the person's name and the name of their brand. That's exactly what happened here. People heard their incredible rags to riches story and immediately started searching for Hermanitos Cruz and Latinos Creativo. By the way, if you're not already using GoHighLevel to build systems like this for your business, you can grab my free snapshot in the second description. It includes all the templates and automations you need to launch your coaching, consulting, or SaaS offer with a professional system from day one when you use my affiliate link. This is where most businesses completely drop the ball. They get this massive surge of branded search traffic, but when people Google their name or their brand, they find either nothing or worse, a generic website that doesn't capitalize on that initial interest. But my clients were ready. They built strategically branded authority websites, waiting to capture that search traffic and convert curiosity into customers. This top-of-funnel branding effect is what turned a single podcast appearance into a $500,000 revenue surge over the next 30 days. That machine was the core of the authority asset stack we built for them. That is the real secret here. And that's the system I'm going to break down for you right now. All right, let me break down the key component of the authority asset stack we built for them, which converted all that podcast traffic into $442,000 in revenue. This is the core teaching moment, so pay close attention. The foundation of the system is what I call the dual authority site strategy. Instead of having just one generic website, we built two strategically branded authority sites that work together like a conversion machine. When people heard their story on the podcast and Googled Hermanito's Cruise, they landed on this site, which immediately reinforced their credibility with powerful video testimonials and their compelling rags to riches story. Second, there's latinoscreativos.com, the community brand site. This is where the actual conversion happens, featuring their community's video sales letter, showcasing podcast features, hosting in-person meetups throughout the country, guest speaking opportunities on stages, all their student testimonies, and a peek at what people get when they join the community. But here's the genius part. Notice how these sites connect to everything else. Their personal brand site builds trust and authority with their backstory, which seamlessly guides people to the community site where they can take action. But here's where this dual authority strategy gets really powerful. Each site becomes a complete business growth ecosystem. Notice how both sites are strategically connected to all of their social media profiles. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. This isn't just for branding. Every visitor who connects with them on social media becomes part of a long-term nurture sequence, growing their following while they sleep. Before this podcast feature, they had just a couple hundred followers on their Facebook page. Now they have 71,000 followers, less than 100 subscribers on their YouTube page. Now they have nearly 9,000 subscribers, less than 100 followers on their TikTok page, and now they have 126.7 thousand followers, and a couple hundred followers on their Instagram page. Now they have 17,000 followers, less than a year later. All that changed after they achieved top-of-funnel branding, which drove traffic to their dual authority sites. Then there's also this 24/7 chat widget that's collecting leads and driving conversations around the clock while they're focused on serving their clients or spending time with their families. This system is capturing interested prospects and qualifying them automatically. It's simply a chat bubble that exists at the bottom right of both of their authority sites. And it shows up on absolutely every page of both of their authority websites. Then we have the events page. The events page showcases all their upcoming free meetups, paid in-person events, and virtual events. And then this is where they stack all of their social proof. The testimonials page isn't just a few quotes. It's an overwhelming showcase of client success stories that builds unshakable trust and social proof. And everything funnels to this optimized order form page that converts visitors into paying members. Now, some of you might be thinking, this works great for low-ticket community offers, but what if I'm a high-ticket coach or consultant? If that's you, instead, you're going to drive traffic from your site to a video sales letter page. I personally recommend making your video at least 10 to 20 minutes, ideally between 15 to 20 minutes long, so you can take your client through a classical sales presentation following this framework: problem, agitate, solution, unique system, transition to offer, then offer with the direct call to action, and lastly, urgency and scarcity with the final call to action, which will be to book a call on your calendar page. But here's the thing. If anybody can book a time on your calendar, then you're going to end up with some unqualified appointments. That's why you need to require everyone who requests an appointment to fill out a short application, minimally asking them what type of business they operate, how much revenue they're generating every month, and what their main problems are. This entire ecosystem works together 24/7, turning every piece of traffic, whether they're from podcasts or social media or word of mouth, into leads, followers, and ultimately revenue. But here's what made this authority asset stack even more effective for my clients, Latinos Creativos. It wasn't just the websites themselves, it was how they used them as a foundation for what happened in those 30 days after the podcast went live. My clients knew they had to strike while the iron was hot, so they made a brilliant decision. They announced they were going to host a 3-day live conference in Chicago, and they used the massive amount of traffic to their dual authority sites to fill it up completely. Now, here's where this gets even more powerful. They didn't just announce it and hope people would show up. They immediately went into action mode, going live on Facebook 3 to 5 times per week, using each session to build excitement and sell tickets. These weren't random Facebook Lives. Each one followed a strategic format: storytelling about real estate success, education on finding off-market deals, and teaching about creative finance, then concluding with an open Q&A session. And at the end of every live session, a special offer for tickets to their upcoming conference. We even put countdown timers at the top of every landing page to sell the tickets for special limited time offers. The result? In just 17 days between the podcast airing and their live event, we sold out all 300 available tickets to their conference. And they generated an additional $286,000 from both community sales and ticket sales. With over 300 excited attendees packed into that Chicago venue, the real conversion magic was about to happen. During those 3 days, they generated an additional $70,736. But most importantly, they achieved a 32.67 conversion rate, meaning 98 out of 300 attendees purchased their community membership right there at the event. Think about that for a moment. These weren't cold prospects. These were pre-sold, enthusiastic attendees who had already invested $199 to be there and were primed to take the next step. But the story doesn't end there. In the 11 days following the event, they generated another $85,099 from sales made automatically through their authority sites. This proves the campaign had a lasting impact. The social proof from a successful 300-person event, combined with momentum from the podcast, created what I call a halo effect. Continued sales that came from no direct effort. This is the complete authority asset stack system in action. It captures traffic, strategic follow-up events maximize every opportunity, and live events become conversion engines that create lasting momentum. Now, you can see there are two other major components flowing from this system: the magnetic community and the affiliate alliance. These are what transformed this from a one-time success into a sustainable growth engine that generated $762,000 over their first 5 months. Let me show you that complete transformation one more time. From only $8,000 in revenue July 27th until August 26, 2024, to over $442,000 generated the next 30 days. But here's what most people miss. The authority asset stack is just one piece of a larger 3-step system, which includes the magnetic community that eliminates churn and the affiliate alliance that turns your community members into promoters. That complete system is what I call the community growth engine. So if you want this exact system built for your business, click the first link in the description to watch my complete case study, breakdown, and book your roadmap call. Due to high demand and the intense amount of effort and time we invest into each client, spots are limited, so don't wait. Click the link below.